Hello everyone, welcome back to Gelvin Valley, created by Wild Wes for Farming Simulator 15. We are still in the middle of harvesting canola, trying to nail out these fields one at a time. Oh my goodness, this field is so steep, I just as well swing around. You know, I'm just noticing something now. Look at my tire tracks. Aha. Okay, yeah. In the last episode, I tried to have some changes, with the drive control mod to where I would have a little bit of crop destruction when I go over the top of the fruit. And what I ended up doing, I tried editing the copy I had, and as it turned out, I think I had version 3.85, and I think the most recent version for this old game was 3.91. So I don't know how I had an older copy. So I put in, and I think it still has everything that I wanted. So yeah. Now, I'm pretty sure I have some crop destruction. I think I can tell by looking at where my tires are going. The crop destruction even worked when you would go over the top of already harvested ground. And, it may even work driving over the top of grass. I'm trying to remember if it would knock it down, a growth cycle or whatever. But anyway, I have it, so the next time I'm going to have to be very, very careful so that I don't unnecessarily... Is that the right spot? Let me just back up just a fuzz. Give that a try. Because I'm on a hill, let me hop out of here and head up to lock it into place, which is pretty handy, I gotta say. Oh, wait. It always starts on unlock. Alright, there we're good. I'll be curious if I just come up here. Maybe it doesn't do it on... I don't think it destroys grass, but I bet it... Yeah, it's doing it now. Oh, this is cool. Yeah, and I had to turn it off for a long time. Maybe shouldn't have. I don't know. And maybe before I do that, let me just show something here real quick. I'll hop out of the game. So this is version 3.91, and now it works. When I come in here, and let me see here, which one is it? Fruit destruction, here we go. So I put it true. The ones I've turned off are the shuttle. I'm not used to shuttle, so I can't get behind. I know some people practically swear by it. I've just never gotten used to it. So I turn that off so I don't have... I think if you have it on, it forces you to do it. And a lot of these in here, I don't even know what it does. And so like this one here was a new one, soft gas. I'm not sure what that is. Maybe it's driving slow. I'm not sure that's what that means. Anyway, I turned it off. But this is where you would do it. And now I think, that other one that I had some stuff commented out. So maybe they were experimenting in the version what to do. Who knows? Anyway, back to business. I will haul this up to... If I can get out the gate. Haul this up to field 49. And I'm pretty sure... Yeah, up here it's going to be another narrow gate. And the trouble is, it's going to do horrible destruction when I take this in there. But, and this is where maybe what I should do is have the little combine do these other ones, because, you know, it's a small field, and by the time I get it in here, yeah, I got no choice but to run over the top. And yeah, there's just no, what way do I do it? You know, if I take this here and I come circle around through the field, the combine can come in and attach. But I almost wonder if I should sneak along the side, and then the combine comes in and attaches. That just takes so much. Yeah. Alright, well, there's no way to do this. It's going to be pretty. So I just as well face the music. And oh shoot. Hey now. Oh shoot. I'm kind of stuck on. Yeah, this is a good way to. This will destroy even more. Alright, just enough to get the combine in. So, yeah, look how much that takes out. That's just terrible. But you know what? I mean, in order to harvest a field like this, you would probably have to do something like that. It's horribly destructive, but what else? What else would you do? Alright, so I'm going to keep that in, I think, unless it becomes totally obnoxious. Alright, even here, I kind of got a good thing I took collisions off. I couldn't even get the small combine in there, frankly. And you know, Wes, if you're listening to this, I know sometimes he stops by. I can't remember if I've asked this before, but did you intend that a combine would not be able to enter some of these fields? You know, and therefore I shouldn't be treating this, you know, as an arable field, I suppose. Yeah, because there's no way that I get through the gate here. Alright, smashing it down some more. Doing destruction, but this is what would happen. Alright, now let me hit, I think it's O. And let me step out here just enough to get past this. And here we go. I can't really see the end of it. Yeah, I'm kind of hitting. Oh, shoot. Kind of right alongside. There we go. I'll come up kind of along it here when I get around. Always obstacles on the outer edge. Is that a fence post? Something is reaching out and grabbing us right along there. And I don't know, maybe the header's just a little bit bigger. So anyway, we're going to destroy crops if we run over them henceforth. Prior to doing this episode, last one, I told a story about my wife. There's lots of other fun things I'd love to share about her, but she probably wouldn't want me to do that. So this one here, I got to thinking, you know, it's 2025 as I record this, and it was sometime in the summer. I wasn't sure exactly where it was when I first recorded a video to put on the internet, and actually it was at least to share with others. It was on Gelvin Valley. And so that gives you an idea of just how long I've been working this map, if you will. 3 years. It was, I think, June 6th when I recorded my first episode. And the first episode, I kind of just ran a test. Truth be told, I was just a bit shy about putting my voice out there, And as you've all heard since then, I don't have a very good voice. That's just however it happened. I got gifted with some kind of rare neurological disorder that hinders how I speak. And there's days it's worse than others. Where basically what it is, it's called, oh shoot, now this is, I gotta lift it and lower it, but I'm gonna be going over crop if I do this too much. And it, as I was just thinking in terms of the anniversary of trying to do videos, going back to the reason that that I even have a YouTube channel. And I know I've shared this before, but I'll just share it again here. I have no aspirations of becoming some highfalutin YouTuber or getting a single dime from them. This is just been a lark for me, really, and a means of a different type of communication with my online friends, if you will. So the fact that anybody, and I mean anybody, listens to them at all is pretty much unexpected, and I don't know that I even call it a bonus. Just never something that that I really anticipated or that kind of thing. And I put this right on my channel. My goals for having a YouTube channel, I just mentioned my voice. This is a way for me to practice my voice or exercise it rather. I know how to talk. And it just gives me, it forces me by keeping up a schedule to talk through. I do 30-minute videos, and so each one of these I have to talk for half an hour. And that's a couple purposes in there. One, of course, is to exercise my voice, and the neurological condition I have is something called spasmodic dysphonia. That's kind of a weird name. Basically, it means my vocal cords don't work the way they're supposed to or the way they do for normal people. And it's a neurological thing, so it's something wrong in my brain, I guess. And probably by listening for 3 years, you'd probably say there's a whole lot more wrong in my brain than just my vocal cords, and you'd be right. But suffice it to say, my brain doesn't tell my vocal cords to do what your brain tells your vocal cords to do. When you look at it, I had a bunch of tests done. Really fun, I can assure you, with things shoved down, my throat, these metal things, with cameras on them to see what was going on, and it was kind of cool to see the pictures. Whoever gets to see their own vocal cords, and they took video feed down there, and they had me literally sing some notes. The doctor literally had a little miniature piano in his office. He said, "All right, now hum this note or whatever, sing high, sing low," and you could see on the camera what my vocal cords were doing. And I guess most vocal cords or normal vocal cords will, oh shoot, this is what I get not paying attention. Most normal vocal cords will stay straight or flat as you make sound, and mine, instead of that, they sit there and they kind of quiver and they wave in and out. So that's kind of why my voice sounds, kind of the way it does. And so that was, I guess that helped him on the diagnosis. And some days are worse than others. For a while I got treatment for it, and I finally just quit getting treatment. There are those out there that have it far worse, than I do with this, and there's different variations of this particular disease. And mine, the treatment was, you know, every couple months I would go to Portland, the largest city in the state of Oregon, up to the north, see a special doctor. As I understand it, there was like only 2 doctors in the entire state, that worked on these type of things. But I'd have to drive all the way up there, about an hour's drive, and he would give me some anesthetic in my vocal cords. And the way you would do that is he would poke a needle into the air. I don't even know what to call it. It's like in your throat, right above your lungs, just straight into your neck, where the air flows. And it was this foul, disgusting tasting stuff. You would cough and it would splatter it all over in there, and it would deaden everything. And then, you'd wait a few minutes, and he would take this needle that looked 12 miles long, and he would put Botox, of all things, into both of your vocal cords. And think about this. He's having to aim for your vocal cords from outside your neck. He can't see anything. And I recall he did something to, I think he hooked it up to my ear. It was some electronic signal, that helped him know if he was close. I really don't know how the thing worked. And he must have just been very good at knowing where the vocal cords were. Anyway, he would stick it into your neck. So it's kind of a ticklish procedure. I mean, you're sitting in this chair, you're very vulnerable, while this doctor is sticking you with this, what seemed like a huge needle. It scared the daylights out of me, doing that. I know the first time I think I passed out while he was doing it. But it really didn't take too long. Once he got the job done, you just waited a little bit. You could still feel it. It's a little bit of pain. But basically, I guess Botox, most commonly is in a plastic surgery. But people put it in there to, I don't know, hold your eyebrows up. I don't know what the stuff is for, in a cosmetic type of setting. But I think it holds things in place. So I think that's kind of how it worked for the vocal cords. It would hold them straight. Whereas, the body or the brain was telling them to waver or whatever. Now it would hold them straight. So ideally, my voice, would sound normal like anyone else's. Well, I think it eventually worked that way. But the first thing that would happen, after you got these shots, is it killed your voice. So especially the bigger the dose you had, the longer you had to wait for your voice, to recover. And let me just leave that on. May as well. Next field. And, I, in my day job, I'm an accountant. And I know most people probably figure accountants don't need to talk, that we're quiet, that we hide from people. Well, that's not true. We talk to people all the time in my line of work. I'm in what's called public accounting, be similar to a chartered accountant. So we're constantly talking to clients, to our staff. So we're using our voice. And what I found is, when it killed my voice, I was dead in the water when it comes to communication. And I just couldn't afford the loss of time. I mean, it sometimes would take a week and a half, maybe even up to 2 weeks, just for my vocal cords to recover. And then it would be okay. It'd be good for a month, 2 months, maybe. But about by the end of that, I would, the effect or whatever would be running out, and I would have to go have another treatment. Probably no different than someone who would put it in their face for holding the eyebrows, whatever. So, actually, you know what? I'm not going to go to the horse farm. I think I'm going to head this way. I'll go in the northern entrance. Or, excuse me, the western entrance. So I did this, I don't know how many years, made several trips to Portland, several times he did the treatment, and I finally just said, you know what, it's not bad enough for me to do it. I'm able to communicate. I would rather have the issue and just deal with it. And like I say, there are days, some days it's better than others. You can probably tell, when you listen to these videos, whether it's a better day or a worse one, depending on how it comes out. So ever since, I don't know, maybe the past decade, I've just been dealing with it as best I can and leaving it at that. And most people who know me, I mean, they know my voice is this way, so they've dealt with it too. But every now and again, when I run into someone new, I'll occasionally get questions, do you have a cold or, something like that where, oh, hey, what are you scraping off of there for? Lock. Was I hauling this thing the whole way and didn't even know it was unlocked? That's kind of a stroke of luck. Now over here. Oh, you know what I could try? Why don't I... No, I probably can't. I gotta get the combine up here. What's down here? Can I kind of pull it backwards? Maybe I want to get the combine in here and then pull the header trailer in front of it. How about that? Alright, put on the brakes. Okay, combine, you're next. And I gotta say, I guess we all have whatever it is that thing, I guess I would put that in quotes, that maybe bothers us, something that makes us self-conscious, some of those kinds of things. I just got done telling you that accountants need to talk, and knowing that I have this issue, there are many, many times it's caused me to not talk when maybe I should, because I knew it sounded bad. I didn't want to speak up. I felt self-conscious, and it's hindered me a number of times in wanting to even meet people, because I feel like I gotta explain it, or they'll ask about it. I'm sick of people asking about it. So those kinds of things. And like I say, we probably all have something. And I probably have many such things, and this just being one of them. And I don't know what it would be for you or someone else. Maybe it's a mole on the end of your nose. Whatever it is. And most of the time, as I get a bit more mileage in life, most of the time, that kind of thing is just in your head. And you or me, the person is thinking about it way more than the other people are. And if we act weird, well then it's just gonna screw everything up, and it makes a situation awkward that otherwise would never need to be. So I guess I say all that to explain, kind of again, this is part of the reason I have a YouTube channel, exercise this voice, that has some issues. Talk with it. I think it's good for me. This is another reason. 30 minutes. I heard someone say one time, he was a radio broadcaster, he said, if you want to see what someone is made of, in terms of having them, or what kind of a radio broadcaster that they'd be, he says, give them no script, make them talk for an hour straight about anything. Just have them talk. And if they can do that, then maybe they are suited to be a broadcaster. Well, I have no aspirations, to be a broadcaster. my goals in a different direction, but I would like to be able to talk more, to be able to think better on my feet. And anybody listening to all these, you know how you know whether I'm doing well at the ad or not. You know, I usually try to pick a topic to talk about, but I don't have any script, so anything said in here probably sounds pretty disjointed, maybe disorganized. I mean, occasionally I'll plan a little bit, you know, if it's a modding thing I'm trying to go over or whatever, but I figured that's part of it, you know, to help me learn to speak better. And you know, some people, God just gifted them with abilities that I don't have, or the rest of us, and that's okay. But that doesn't mean, you know, we can't work on it or try at least. So that's at least how I'm trying to look at it. Alright, let me take this guy in here. I turned out this way, so in theory I should be able to swing right in. Okay. And maybe, just maybe, there will be no crop destruction if I do it this way. This is kind of a new experience doing all this with... Oh, yeah, he stuck to the trailer. There we go. Alright, he's locked and loaded. Go back to the tractor. So, that hopefully gets to some of the largest part of, you know, my motive is... Oh, let's see, this trailer, can I get out of here? Yeah, oh, you don't like turning. I wish I could lock these axles. That's what I wish I could do. There we go. Maybe what I'll do, I'll take this fella up here and I'll park him on this flat area over here at West had for placeables, I believe. Another motivation that I have is something from my kids. Now, I gotta say, most of them, I have 4 children. They know that I do this. I don't really advertise that I'm a YouTuber here locally. I really don't advertise it, period. YouTube does whatever YouTube is going to do when it comes to all that. But it's kind of interesting. Nobody, to my knowledge, that I know personally here locally, you know, in my social group or whatever, has found out, you know, that I have a YouTube channel. And you know what? That's fine by me. For all I know, the greater part of them may even disapprove. But anyway, part of my motivation too is just thinking about my kids. And I don't know what it was. It just kind of clicked, you know, to me one time. When you put it on here, you know, the internet, you know, as we sometimes say, is forever, you know, and most of the time that's, you know, when you screw up or something. If someone has video footage, they put it on the internet, there you're stuck, and it's out there for everybody to see forever. But I think that can also be a positive thing, and you can change the settings. So, you know, maybe someday if when I kick the bucket, maybe my kids will be interested in some of these videos. I've told a lot of stories, you know, about them, about my past, things I'm interested in. You know, let me tell you, I know I've mentioned Eustace Farmer, Atomic 67 a number of times, you know, on this channel. He's the one who helped me get started doing this, and it was basically from admiring what he did, you know. And speaking of Eustace, he's also the one that gave me the bell that you hear every time I have this episode to let me know when 30 minutes is up. But he's the one that got me started on this, and now, I wish he was still around, but he isn't. But I found, now that he isn't, that he's passed, we still have all of the videos that he made and released publicly. They're all still sitting there on YouTube. And so even though the man is gone, his voice is still here. We can still listen to his stories and have good memories and everything. It's, I don't know, all of a sudden something just clicked. Hey, you put something on here, as long as my wife, has details to the channel, if I kick the bucket so she can maintain it or whatever. Something here for my kids. I wouldn't expect anybody else to give a rip about it. But how cool's that? YouTube can allow you to put something here for free. I mean, these videos, they're huge. And the idea that YouTube lets you do it, even though a little channel like mine is just chump change compared to, even more popular YouTube videos in the farming simulator genre. This is nothing. But anyway, that's another motivation for having it here. Plus, I really enjoy communicating with video to a number of friends that I've made through the game, that I periodically mention, such as Russell, and there's Fury Machine Gaming, Grizzly Bear Sims, and although he doesn't make videos so much anymore, but it's just kind of fun, when you're separated from your friends so often by thousands of miles. Sending a video is one way of communicating that you can't really do in text. Looks like I'm going to miss a little dab on this corner. Oh well, it is what it is. Anyway, I thought I would just mention this. Kind of my 3-year anniversary. Most YouTubers, I think, have kind of an anniversary. What triggers an anniversary isn't their time doing it. It's their number of subscribers or whatever else. And off the top of my head, I don't even know what the number of my subscribers are. I'll never ask anyone to subscribe or to like and comment. You do you, whatever you want to do. I've explained to you my motives. Although I do appreciate the comments, I'm not going to lie. I really do appreciate those. It gives me some idea of who's listening. Anyway, I'm a little bit over. We're harvesting. I'm having fun here on Gelvin Valley. Hope you're still enjoying it even after 3 long years of farming Gelvin. Y'all have a wonderful day. I will see you on the next one. Goodbye.